Welcome to the Cynthia Nyamai Show. Now, our guest today is a young lady who I watched her interview 10 years ago. She was only 9 years, but she had big dreams about the music industry, writing her own songs, and right now, her song is #1 on the charts. Nikita Kering will share her secrets to success. Coming up shortly. Nikita Kering, thank you so much for joining us today. Every time, when I hear your name, I just think about the X Challenge and that song. Yeah. What inspired that song?
I think stories, people's interesting stories. The story is about a girl who is in and out of a toxic relationship and finally gives it one more chance.
Yes.
Very naive, of course.
Yeah.
Gives it one more chance in the hopes that it will finally become successful. The song was actually, the chorus, I actually wrote it perhaps like 1 year ago, a bit more than a year ago.
Yeah.
And I shoved it on the side because I got stuck when I was writing it.
Yeah.
Then now, this year when I met my producer, he sang it to me and he's like, wow, we need to finish that song. And I was like, yeah, let's finish the song. And then we finally did it.
So it's stories you've had, or it's an actual experience, something you've gone through?
I'm grateful that I haven't gone through a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
However, toxicity is like a trending topic right now. Yeah. So I knew a lot of people would relate to it.
And what kind of messages have people been sending you? Can they relate to the song? Do they have similar experiences?
No, sadly, I think when people listen to my music, they're listening more to my voice. So people, it's like they don't even understand the message of the song unless they're like actual musicians who have, now the real musicians have come to me and they're like, oh, the writing is so good, because I think when I write, I get so poetic with it. So sometimes it can be very hard for the layman to understand. Yeah. However, when you finally have listened to the song enough times and then get to listen to it during your last few times before you get bored of it, you get to now hear what the message of the song is about. And then now a lot of people come in and they're like, oh my God, that was such an interesting message. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And did you think it was going to be this big?
No, I didn't. Actually, the story was that when I finally did the demo of the song, the demo is like before the song gets mixed and mastered.
Yes.
I shared it with a huge Nigerian producer and sound engineer who, like, every big artist knows him.
Yeah.
And he's my friend and we always wanted to work with each other. So when I finally wrote the song, I finally recorded it, I sent it to him. And I was like, hi, what do you think about this song? He took 2 days to reply, and then he replied to me, and he's like, I like the song, but it's not catchy.
Wow.
I think you should go and change it a bit and make it catchy.
Yeah.
When he said that, my heart sank, because I was like, if someone tells you your song is not catchy, that means the song is not good.
Yeah.
Like, this
and he's
clearly,
much more experienced.
Way more experienced than myself.
Yeah.
And so when he told me that, my heart sank. However, we had already started planning the music video shoot, created a budget that was like big, the biggest budget I had ever worked with. And I was so passionate about it. So you know what I said? I was like, you know what? I mean, if it doesn't go well, it's a lesson learned. We could always work on other things later on. But I mean, it got out. He miraculously is now liking it. So I'm just like, sometimes listening to yourself and listening to your heart can be very, very important. Because if I didn't release it, that would have been really bad.
But did you release it because there was a budget and plans, or because you believed and you knew, despite what he says, despite his experiences, this is going to be a good song?
At the end of the day, I never release music to get people's validation. Yeah. I already know that when I write a song and it's ready for release, then it's something that I'm proud of. And so I released it because I was proud of it, regardless of what the reception would be. Yeah.
So it looks like music, or the music industry, is actually a lot of work and takes a lot of discipline.
Oh, a lot of discipline and a lot of time, especially because we are a much freer industry.
Yes.
There are no time restrictions. There are no value restrictions, moral restrictions. There's none of those. Yeah. It's just you and your work, and whether you are a sober-minded person or not, you do whatever you need to do and you figure it out. So it can get a bit crazy. However, I would say your self-discipline and your confidence in what you do is usually the biggest drive.
I must say I'm quite impressed for a 19-year-old, the discipline, the drive that you have. So I'm a bit more curious. Tell me a little bit about your background growing up and your early years in life.
I would say I come from a family of 7. That's including my parents, so 5 kids and my folks. My mom was a creative growing up.
Yes.
And so for her, she was very, very into making sure that everyone practices a passion. My dad came from a much stricter background. However, he saw that character within my mom and decided to join and support us as much as everything. So I would say they supported us. However, if they're going to support you, the condition is that you have to be extremely disciplined at what you do. You have to work hard and show them that this is something that I want to do. And in return, they invest in your work, which I think a lot of parents should practice and work on doing for their children. So I would definitely say I was not as restricted, but I was forced to be as disciplined as I possibly can, and that continued being drilled into my mind until now. It's become second nature.
And you've also studied music?
Yeah, I studied music. I did a diploma in business and technology in music. Hopefully I get to do an undergraduate in the future. I have taken time out to do vocal classes so that of course I can develop my vocal ability. However, I don't believe that education is going to sit down in class. Education is the extra effort that you are able to put in to grow your craft and to develop your craft. And so on the side, I made sure that I'm researching as much as possible, not just how to sing. It's more of how to get into understanding contract law, understanding physical fitness when it comes to being a good musician and performance, going into every aspect of music, and that's how then you grow and you're distinct from the rest. Because if I just sit down and believe that I have a beautiful voice and I stay, I'm wasting my time.
That's true. You've just hinted about, furthering your education. So are you thinking of maybe in the future taking a break and going back to school?
Oh no, 100%. I would say that I'm likely to go back to school. Do I want to study music purely? I don't think that's something I want to do as of now. I want to get into the business of music because I hope to start my record label in the future. So I want to really dive into business and contract law in music. As of now, that's what I see myself doing. However, we are all growing human beings, and 3 years from today, I could want to study cooking and and culinary art. I don't know. So for now, that's what I want to do.
Do you see yourself collaborating with other artists here in Kenya and also around Africa? You 100%. Mentioned a Nigerian,
Well, yes, I would love to collaborate. I look forward to a lot of the collaborations that we have already started. I've already started with a couple of artists here in Kenya. However, what I can say is that I think I have a lot to work on with myself and finding myself in the kind of music that I want to do. And so the collaborations are more of an accessory in my career. I am working strictly on myself at the moment, and whatever collaborations come are a blessing, and I'm grateful. However, my focus right now is on myself.
I like that the focus is on yourself and growth. The first time I saw you was, I think you were 9 years old. That's the first time I watched your interview, and you were singing then. And you even talked about writing your own songs. From age 9 until now 19, do you see that growth, even the lyrics, the kind of music that you write? Are you seeing, growth? And where do you think you want to see yourself in the next 10 years?
I would say the growth has been immense. The growth has been immense because of so many things, but I would say the greatest contributor has been the work that I've decided to put into my craft. If you compare Happy With You, which was my first song that I wrote, to now X, you can tell such a difference because you tell, first of all, someone who has stepped outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
You can also tell someone who has been able to pick different aspects and elements within music and brought it into an Afro pop song, which people don't do a lot. People just sing and the song is done.
Yeah.
But I would say more so I have grown mentally as an individual to learn what is important and what isn't, with regards to figuring out how can I financially sustain myself in the industry. I had to learn how to do taxes early, which is like unheard of.
Yeah.
It's stress because as a musician you have so many sources of income and you're like, I don't know what the hell to do. However, I will say the mental growth is what I'm mostly grateful for. And mental growth is the most important thing in your own career. No matter what you do, you can be 100% successful at it if you put in the work to grow as an individual mentally. Because once you have grown mentally, then everything else comes after. Once you have grown mentally, you have the maturity to be able to be disciplined and put in the work. When it comes to I don't know, whatever else that you do in your career.
And do you think because of getting into the music industry really early and being, on the spotlight, it forced you to grow much faster?
Oh, 100%. I would say there's this side of me that people see. As a matter of fact, that's why my EP was titled A Side of Me, because this is just one part of myself that I've chosen to give away. However, people don't know my life with my friends, my relationships, my heartbreaks, if I had heartbreaks. People don't know that side. And for me, the most important thing has been to separate those two things. This is a completely different thing so after this, when I come and say I'm going to have lunch with my friends, I'm a completely different person. I'm the same girl they knew 10 years ago, simply because that's what keeps you grounded. The minute I start mixing the two, acting like a celeb when I'm with my friends, or acting like my friends when I'm here, that's when you lose the two. Because there's a level of professionalism I have to attain in this specific thing. Without forgetting that I'm still 19 years old.
We're going to take a short break, and one of the things, I'm happy you talked about your personal life, because I've watched a lot of your interviews. I've never heard anything about your love life. I'll try and poke you a little bit and find out more about your love life. That is coming up shortly. You've probably heard the song X. It's a buzzing everywhere: TikTok, Facebook, radio stations, TV stations, and today we're glad to have Nikita with us. Now, Nikita, we're getting to the juicy part. This is the juicy part. Tell us a little bit about your love life. Give us an exclusive. So, are you seeing someone?
You're the only person who'll ever know this.
Me and the viewers.
I'm very interested in someone, but I'm not seeing them. And do you feel like sometimes also your career takes your time from socializing more with people, because you're running a business? I think what I struggle with the most is seeing people my age. That's why I haven't had a boyfriend. Because I always feel like I'm way ahead mentally and priority wise. I find myself talking about allocation of work and delegation when we're with people my age who are just in uni and stuff, and I'm not going to say that they're immature, yet that's them being their age.
So they just have a different path.
They just have a different path and different priorities. So I would think that has been like the challenge. Okay. But I'm not sad about it. Move on regardless. If someone else now in the industry or who has started their own business like me comes along, interesting. But I'm not looking forward to anything, and I'm not repelling anything.
If something happens with that situation, that lucky man who you're interested in, give us the details.
I'll be right back here.
We'd love to hear the details on that. But you mentioned something about, friendships and hanging out with your friends and so on. How has your career changed your social life?
A lot. One, I'm not able to socialize as much as I once did. Because then you figure out someone has different intentions for you. Someone is with you for clout.
Yes.
Someone is catching feelings because I've not posted them on social media.
Yes.
Just petty things like that.
Yeah.
So I've just kept a small circle of friends, a
Yeah.
very small circle of friends that understand that my job is seriously just my job.
Yeah.
And when we hang out, we are good. And you know, the thing is that the fame came gradually, so it wasn't a shock. So I have had friends who have grown with me through that process and gotten to understand why it is I can't do certain things, I can't be at certain places sometimes, why there are places I'll need security and they can't be there because the security is at risk. Just a number of things. However, I would say I'm satisfied with what I have. I'm grateful because I've gone through it gradually.
Have you gone through some hard lessons when it comes to friendships?
Oh, 100%. One, you can't just trust anyone. Information, because sometimes they can even be put in a compromising situation whereby, okay, listen, this is 300,000, tell me Nikita's boyfriend, where he lives. This person will be like, I mean, Nikita, you can always get another boyfriend, so just give me the 3K. You know, that's like the battle, and I don't want to put people through that situation by also giving too much. So I also try my best to limit the amount of information that I'm giving people.
You've mentioned about the gradual fame. What are some of the things that you like about the fame? Are you comfortable with it, being famous?
I'm comfortable being famous.
It's
a very interesting story. It's like two sides of a coin. There's a bad side of fame where I have to, I can't go out just to anywhere, otherwise, they're just asking for pictures, then it's not fun anymore. Or I go out, then everyone now starts advising me. I'm like, I'm just here to have fun. Leave me alone. just tonight. Like, everyone seems now, okay, do you know what you should do with your career? I'm like, guys, surely. So there's that. Then you're not able to always use public transport, so that's costs as hell. Just and small other things. And then I always have to be careful with what I'm doing. I have to be too careful. I can't make mistakes. Yet I'm so young, and those are mistakes that I'm supposed to learn from. So I become too conscious about my mistakes, what I do, where I am, at what time, or I can't say certain things. I always have to be coached on what I can and cannot say, which is important, but sometimes it's so limiting because I'm not able to express my mind perhaps as other people may. But the good side of fame, I get to inspire a lot of people. Can have a platform and be able to speak my mind and have it influence people. Then what other good side? Then like with my endorsements, just getting some free things once in a while. Well, sadly, they're not usually what I want, but that's also fun. And also just the love that you get from people. That's really cool.
So that's how you've managed to keep your life
But then minding your business is very important. Realizing that we're not in the best world, and then taking that and simply only talking about things you need to talk about, very important. Because let me tell you, you can't say the right things. When you start speaking too much, 10% of what you say will just
people will always
find something to say. Look at it the wrong way. I'm not ready for that. I just want to be a kid and have fun. That's it.
I think one of the things I like is you're comfortable with yourself, and that really shows. It goes even just beyond, confidence. You're comfortable with who you are, and that will also make people accept you as you are. And the other thing is that it's your music. We hear more of your music and then what is going on behind.
As you should, because it's about the music. It's not about my personal business.
The other interesting thing is a lot of artists normally have like a stage name, aka so and so, but you use your name. Why?
First of all, because I think my name is nice. I think I have a nice name.
I like Nikita.
I think I have a nice name that's unique. If I honestly had a very common name, I would also opt to use a stage name, to be honest. I've stayed with my name primarily because it's a different name. But I think also my name Kering, it represents my culture, and I'm so attached to myself as a Nandi, as a Kali. So I think I always want to carry that side of me wherever I go. And also, I think the name Kering, because it's my father's name, he has built a legacy on his own.
Yeah.
Now I want to take that name and even create a grander,
yes,
bigger
one, yeah.
legacy
Yes.
that will live on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it will be so beautiful that it will have started with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you talked about having a music label.
Yeah.
When it comes to your music career, what other big and grand plans do you have?
To be honest, I don't plan on singing and performing my whole life. It's a passion I have,
Yeah.
but I'm more interested in becoming a billionaire. So
Yes.
what will I do?
Yeah.
I really wanted to start a record label that it strives to be more human. A lot of record labels take advantage of people who don't understand law, who don't
Yes.
understand money.
Yeah, and the business side.
And the business side of things.
Yeah.
And so you find 13-year-olds who are not signed to a label and they're signed until they're 30.
Yeah.
And then something wrong. There's a disconnect that happens and now
Yeah.
they can't release a song until they're 30
Yeah.
years old. Now, I want to finally create a platform that will have policies to ensure, like FIFA, there's policies to ensure that kids don't get taken advantage
Yeah.
of. So with me, I want to make sure that I create a place, a safe space where you're able to translate those contracts well and create an honest connection between the artist and myself, so that they're able to benefit from me as much as I'm benefiting from them. It's less of a record label and more of giving back to people that we believe are actually talented and hardworking. Now, besides the record labels, I really want to create a whole Kering global everything. So there'll be Kering fashion, there'll be Kering restaurants, there'll be Kering a whole supermarket, like those kind of things. I want that Kering name, and I want to say it here, will become the biggest brand in the universe. Like that's what I pray for. Yani, I want someone to be able to say that they live a Kering lifestyle. So they live in Kering real estate, they wear Kering fashion, their phone is Kering, you know, that kind of thing. Just create a global empire and carry my people with me and create something different that Kenyans have not seen.
So soon I'll be wearing a Kering dress.
You have no idea.
Drinking some Kering water.
Exactly.
Wow.
You never know, maybe Kering get his mind. I'm joking.
I love that.
I'm joking.
I love the big dreams. You never know, you might just buy them off one day.
You don't know.
Yes, but you also studied drama.
Yeah, I did.
Are you
How
also?
did you know that?
I did my homework. Or maybe I've been stalking you.
I'm scared.
I'm such a fan. So.
Maybe Binance standing outside my gate.
And so are you planning to also get into the film industry or acting?
100%. I want to become a whole triple threat.
I need to check your ID if you're really 19.
I mean,
You're so inspiring.
Look,
I wish
good
these
thing
are
my
things I
ID
knew
looks good.
when I was 19. Some of the things you're talking about, I found out in my 30s. So we need to check your ID. But thank you so much for joining us today. Unfortunately, we do not have a lot of time. So we come to an end here. We'll probably have a part 2 when you're launching your water or one of your products, your clothesline or even makeup. And we look forward to having you again.
I'm glad. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. You had it from Nikita Kering. I like it. There is no limit. You can do anything. But one of the important things that she talked about at the beginning is discipline. Discipline, honing your skills, success doesn't just come by accident. Thank you so much for joining us today, and see you next time.